Now, let's get more on the call for all Scottish police cars to be equipped with guns. The Scottish Police Federation, who represent rank and file officers, wants to change to protect staff responding to the most serious incidents. Here's the General Secretary, David Kennedy.
The strategies that are in place and the policies that are in place at the moment, that's exactly what would happen. But the difference is that there aren't enough police officers carrying firearms. Now, we don't want people and members of the public to be shot. That's the worst case scenario, but we have to make sure we have proper protections in place for police officers and the members of the public.
Well, in response, the Scottish Government says Police Scotland would remain an unarmed force and that its current capability was both appropriate and proportionate. Let's bring in Thomas Ross, KC, Senior Defence Counsel from Benchmark Advocates. Good to speak to you as always, Mr Ross. What do you make of this? Keen to get your views.
Well, it's in a part of the document which is headed Violence Against the Police. And David Kennedy knows 1,000 times more about that subject than I do, but it does seem like something of a jump from the current arrangements, the notion that every police car in the country would have a firearm within it. Anybody can see there's a danger with that.
In New Zealand, I know handguns and semi-automatic rifles are stored in locked cabinets in vehicles. Would it be fair to look at that as an option, or do you just think it's not going to happen here?
Yeah, well, I mean, in New Zealand, they killed 2 people in circumstances were found not to be justified, so that's probably enough to deal with the proposal, I think.
Yeah, well, the Police Federation's also calling for a return to local policing, more bobbies on the beat. They sound frustrated. Would that measure help, do you think, rather?
Well, you'd have to take the bobbies off the beat and send them back to training college for 4 or 5 months to become skilled firearms officers. And clearly the individuals who serve as firearms officers at the moment are in some respects the elite of the police force. So, you know, there's psychological training and the like. It's not a job that everybody can do, I don't think. So, you know, we would be moving from a situation where you only had people, a small group of people who had been found to be suitable for it, to spreading it. And there is a danger that, you know, split-second decisions have to be made by firearms officers. I certainly wouldn't be up to that, and I suspect that some police officers might find it difficult as well.
Yeah, and how do you think this would go down as a society in Scotland? Because this is something we're just not used to, is it? Do you think the culture would be against this in a way?
Yeah, I mean, the culture would be against it. If it could be shown that it was necessary, then it may be that the culture would have to change. But it does seem from at the moment, many police officers are equipped, for example, with tasers and with Pava spray. It seems a big jump from that to arming them in the police car. So it may be there's a discussion to be had as to whether other methods are available to give added levels of protection to the police, because I don't doubt their concerns are justified that violence against the police has increased.
And is that where it's coming from? Is this born out of frustration that these levels are increasing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think everybody would like to see more police on the street. And, you know, there's complaints in the paper regarding funding and resources. And, you know, in an ideal world, maybe there would be a place for it. But in reality, we would be taking officers away from frontline duties and sending them back to college for 5 months to train to be firearms officers. And, you know, unless those officers were replaced, which seems highly unlikely given the pressure on public resources, then we'd actually end up with the streets less safe than they are at the moment.
Thank you so much, as always. Thomas Ross, KC, their Senior Defence Counsel for Benchmark Advocates. More on that coming up a bit later on the programme. But still to come here on Drive Time, Granite Noir returns